Chapter 7. While it is true that there is a lot of literature, documentation, and research about the role of the interpreter where everything is clear enough, the job often conditions and puts the interpreter in a position where the situations he or she has to face are not so clear, and there are many elements that come into play, making it very difficult to remain faithful to that which books or literature refer to. So the idea of introducing this chapter in this class is that the ethical and professional codes are the answer to reduce the emotional impact that the interpreter can suffer in situations that are out of the ordinary. Beyond the specifications of each state and each country about codes of ethics, there are certain things that are general. One of them is confidentiality, that has to do with respecting the right to others' privacy. The second is impartiality, which is not taking sides with any of the parties. The third has to do with accuracy and fidelity, that is to say, trying to ensure that the message is true to the original and appropriate for the new cultural context. The last has to do with integrity, which is being able to reflect and to be honest with oneself in order to know if one is qualified or able to accept a job that requires a certain commitment or exposure to situations that are out of the ordinary. The importance of having an ethical code is crucial to the perfection of the interpreter and is directly related to other elements that may affect or benefit the profession. By this I mean that if the ethical code is met and the interpreter knows that he must be impartial in his interpretations, that he cannot reveal information to his clients, that he must translate the content to the target language with the maximum fidelity, this will avoid many conflicts in which the interpreter becomes an active part in the conflict itself, because he violates the principle of neutrality or because he reveals information that shouldn't be. Which brings us to a very important point, that is impartiality. Total impartiality is impossible since we all have a set of values and beliefs that shape our lives and on which we build our paths. However, we can think of two levels of ethics and impartiality. On a more general level, no human being is impartial because all our actions are the fruit of a subjective individual decision, different from that of any other human being. Therefore, an interpreter from this perspective cannot be impartial. As a human being, he has his own beliefs that he cannot detach from and according to which he will make decisions, such as who to work for, what contents to interpret, why to reject other works, whether they violate his moral values or his ethics. For example, an interpreter could reject an interpretation for a neo-Nazi association based on his own ethics. However, there is another level that is more specific, which occurs in a specific interpretative situation. The interpreter here should be as impartial as possible, faithfully transmitting the ideas of his interlocutors, even if he does not always agree with them. An interpreter should not add, suppress, nor modify the ideas of those whom he interprets, because it is not his place to do so.